Hey guys, it's Soundhusk here. Today is a different type of video. Today we are going to be talking about the PvP Minion meta. So as you guys know, the PvP meta scene has been drastically changed with the current new update of the minions in Wizard101. Going here, we have the new popular minion, the Water Elemental, that has been taking over PvP matches for a long time so far. This summer update, all the minions got changed, and it has really turned the entire PvP scene on its head. So now let's talk about why the Water Elemental minion is so good. Right now on your screen is the entire kit, what it can use. It has a balance blade, it has a duo chromatic blade, it has a normal weakness, it has a greater weakness, it has a double weakness, and it also has the greater sword, a 40% universal blade. And that is actually insane when you think about it because of all the things you can do with it. Now, with that being said, the Storm Minion, as you saw by its kit, really good, but unusable by all schools. This next minion is obviously for Myth only, but it has a lot of utility as well, especially for Myth, as they are the sort of trap school, but also really good with, Pierce. As you can see here, their Myth Pact gives a Shadow Nova, which gives 50% Pierce. But, as you can see, pulling up the kit here, you have Greater Hex, Greater Myth Trap, you have Mythic Fuel, and you also have Greater Myth Spike, which is a 45% Myth Pierce Trap. So put this into perspective of my Myth Wizard having 42% Pierce. Add that 45% on, you are looking at 87% Pierce. Take a Myth that is maybe max level, they probably have 50, almost 60, so, you're looking at 95 to almost 105% Pierce, so you can go through a shield, and aura, and even somebody's resist with all that Pierce that the Troll minion can give with your initial Pierce, which makes this minion also really strong, but only Myth specific, or if you are somebody who is weaving into Myth that can utilize the Myth school's damage. But another reason why I'm going to show you why the Storm Elemental, the Water Elemental minion, is so good is its accessibility. Not just, you can train it from Hailstorm, Bailstorm, or the Storm Scholar, but you can get treasure cards of this spell really, really easily and not even have to waste time trying to invest training points into the spell at all. Because when you come straight into the library here in Zafaria, you can just come to the treasure card shop, and if you scroll over, boom, all the minions at your disposal. Well, most of the minions, except for the Troll minion. The Troll minion, you have to train from Cyrus Drake, obviously, but boom, you can easily get Water Elemental treasure cards for literally 2,000 gold, which makes it very accessible. But that is where that becomes a problem, as, well, if you are a good player and you understand PvP a lot more, adding these minions in just makes it a lot more tedious, but there's also no real counterplay to it due to the fact of Path B AoE spells. So let's scroll over here to Orthrus, for example. You can't use AoE Orthrus anymore. You have to rely on this select target version of the spell, which is way worse and really changes how you have to handle PvP. And at this point, minions are really, really troublesome, and the scaling in PvP, the higher level PvP matches, they're never going to worry about taking out those minions because they can't. Even though they could, it's wasting pips and wasting turns when you could be using those turns trying to hit the enemy or trying to set up other things against that enemy. Which, I haven't been able to test any of this, but just watching what has happened, I've watched matches, and almost every match that I've went to, you've either seen Elemental Minion, this Water Minion, if they are not Myth. I've even seen Myth Wizards use it. But then, you know, when everybody's using Water Elemental, you know, the school identities of stuff really changes. Because, think about it. You have everybody carrying Water Elemental now, and it's such a strong minion that, you know, there's no reason not to. And if you are not carrying the Water Elemental minion, you're practically trolling. And you're practically losing the match before it even begins because you're not using the most optimal card. So, now that we're back from the library, let's get to the point I wanted to make. Now that we have talked about the minions, AoEs matter again. You know, if AoEs were a thing, they are PvP blocked, but if they were a thing, this would fix a lot of what was going on right now with minions, because AoEs are great at killing minions. Above all, you know, the 7-pip AoE top paths, you know, they deserve a spot in PvP again. Mainly because they are a consistent minion counter. Without Sap right now in the summer update not giving us the Barkingham Spellements, you don't have enemy Sap anymore. So you can't counter minions unless you want to go out of your way spending training points on Pathby Stone Colossus, or, you know, training Impair, right? Or Purge, you know, to remove weaknesses. Practically, if you aren't somebody that has weakness counters for the Storm Elemental, you're done for, because, or, you know, you're just gonna make your chance of winning just so much lower. And, you know, it's a meta shift that, you know, I think needed planning. And, you know, and I'm not, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, this is what I think is the problem, is without minion counters, minions, especially the Storm Minion and the Myth Minion, have pulled away from the rest of the field of minions as just being the definitive best minions. Mainly because what they do with their identities, they do it perfect to a T, and unless you have a way to circumvent and get around it, you're most likely going to be losing the match you are fighting against because of how strong they are. Now, let me know your thoughts. If you do PvP, has this been a problem with you, with your matches? Have you seen Water Elementals just rampantly taking over the matching queue? Are you somebody that uses it, and how interactive and fun is it really to use these minions? I want to know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check out my tips and tricks video that I made earlier in the week. If you are somebody that is maybe new to the game and wants some extra help, be sure to join the Discord. I would love to create a community of like-minded individuals that are willing to coach and help the new coming up wizards in the community. With all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, and have a good one.